So Howard Meyerson, by the way, who served on a FINRA committee during the halt. He served on the FINRA, I believe it's Market Reform, hang on just a second, Market Regulation Committee. I made a challenge this morning. Go look at who else served on that committee. So you've got Howard Meyerson stepping up, going to David Sawteel, who says, yeah, you really shouldn't be doing this. And then Howard says, well, okay, let's schedule a meeting. So they schedule a meeting. And he even warned Sawteel, a few days before the meeting, I'm going to send you an agenda. This is what our members want to talk about. So they schedule the meeting. And then he sends them the agenda a week ahead of time. And lo and behold, that agenda is inappropriate. As Sawteel warned them, they want to talk exclusively about NextBridge hydrocarbon subscription rights offering and the contingency that shares are transferred to the transfer agent. Guys, they just showed us their weakness. They just gave the motive for the halt. And they are eliciting the SEC to cover it up. And guess what? The SEC does it. Even though they knew they shouldn't, they do it. The only missing piece at this point, there's two. Who were the brokers that asked the FIF, Howard Meyerson, to advocate for this? They specifically went to the FIF to shield their identities. So what we need to know is who are those brokers or market participants. It may not just be a broker. Could be an exchange, could be a market maker, right? And then the other missing piece is how did it get from David Sawteel taking that meeting and NextBridge withdrawing shortly after their subscription rights offering? And what was said by the SEC, by the people administering the examination on NextBridge's S1s to get an NextBridge to withdraw it. I can guarantee it wasn't, can you withdraw this because our brokers are effed? They can't deliver. I guarantee that wasn't the reasoning. But you know, guys, this absolutely proves what NextBridge clearly suspects, which is the broker collusion with the regulators to tortiously interfere in their business. Why do you think they put out that press release that they had employed Wes? Well, now they have the proof. Now they have the proof. So there's still a few missing parts, but even then, they admitted the overage that we knew to be the truth. But even more interesting, you guys have heard me say this all along. I believe they're holding the overage in qualified accounts, knowing that people cannot transfer them to Equinity because they are not a custodian. They're not a custodian. Every issue that they discuss in this FOIA is not about retail shareholders. It is about those qualified accounts. And they prove it in the very last sentence of their 7 points. Let me go to that really quick, guys. And I'm sorry, Zing, if this isn't what you wanted to talk about, but I think this is really important and should absolutely be highlighted during the press conference, because this is truly as much as the smoking gun on April 1st of 2023, where they admitted that they had all been conversing about this, that FINRA and the SEC had 3 investigative committees that were looking into this issue and they pulled the blue sheets. As big as that was, honestly, for me, this is bigger because it directly implicates the SEC. But if you look, again, if you go to Curtis's thread where he lays it all out for you in the brilliant way that he does, if you look at the very last, so they say we can't deliver the shares. It's FINRA's fault, right? And they give BS reasons for why FINRA or SEC should deny this. You know, they reference Rule 15C3-3, which regards the custody of shares, which they clearly have already violated because they didn't recall the shares. And then they have the nerve to cite the SEC's mission, which is to protect investors, maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets, and facilitate capital formation. You are asking them to stop the facilitation of capital formation, and you are asking them to do something that doesn't protect investors. The safest place for your shares are at the transfer agent. Not only that, that statement blows in the face when FINRA and the SEC have asserted that the halt was to protect investors. Clearly it wasn't, because now brokers are admitting 15C3-3 violations, which they can't deliver your shares. But the very last statement to me is critical. Says, if the SEC decides to approve the S1 filing, the SEC should require removal of the provision that participating customers cannot hold shares through a bank, broker-dealer, or other nominee. This will maintain customer choice. You mean the choice we had about when to sell our shares? Protect customers that would be disadvantaged by such a transfer, and allow future reconciliation of outstanding stock loans. So they just lifted up their skirt, guys. They just told us where the answer is. It's in qualified accounts. That is where they are hiding the imbalance. So Howard Meyerson, by the way, who served on a FINRA committee during the halt. He served on the FINRA, I believe it's market reform